Okay, here we go again. Today we are going to be writing standard form equations for a hyperbola. So this is in that expanded kind of general form that we don't really care for because it's not easy to see what we're doing. You did this with ellipses, so it's going to be very similar. There's just going to kind of be a couple of things that you have to watch out for. So just like with ellipses, we're going to start off by trying to get it in the order that we want to work with. So we're going to move our x over here next to our x squared and then get our y's together. So we have x squared minus 6x, leave a space because we're going to have to complete the square, and then minus 4y squared minus 8y, leave another space, equals 27. Okay, actually before we can complete the square, we've got to clean up this little mess here. So this one's good because our coefficient is 1. That's what we want when we complete the square. So x squared minus 6x. This one though, we have to pull that negative 4 out of there because we need this to be a positive 1 in front of this y squared. So we're going to take that negative 4 out, but we have to pull it out of both of these. So this becomes just a y squared, and this becomes a positive 2y. Because negative 8 divided by negative 4, positive 2. Okay, so now we have to find the numbers that go in here. So I think you're getting pretty good at this by now, but remember we take half of this and square it. So that would be a positive 9. And if we put a positive 9 over here, we have to put a positive 9 over there. Then here we do the same thing, half of this and square it. So half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is still 1. Now we have to be careful because this positive 1 is inside a parenthesis that has a negative 4 in front of it. So we are actually putting on this side negative 4 because negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. So that's what we have to put over here. Negative 4. Everyone okay with that? All right, so now we just need to do our factoring. X minus 3 squared minus 4 y plus 1 squared. Combine those together. That gives you 32. Okay, we're almost there, but if you remember a hyperbola equation, you have this fraction minus this fraction equals 1. Well, ours doesn't equal 1 right now. We need to make it equal 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 32, because 32 divided by 32 is 1. But if we divide it here, we also have to divide it here, and we have to divide it here. Again, this is very similar to what you did with ellipses. So here there's nothing to actually cancel it with, so we just get x minus 3 squared over 32. Here we have a 4 and a 32, which reduce, so that just becomes y plus 1 squared over 8 equals 1. Now you have a hyperbola in standard form that if you wanted to, you could go ahead and graph and whatever else you need to do with it. But for today, we're just working on getting it into this form. Let me point out to you something that's going to become important later on in the chapter. Remember with ellipses, we knew it was an ellipse because the x and y didn't have the same coefficient. Well, how we know it's a hyperbola is, again, the x and y, x squared and y squared, don't have the same coefficient, but what makes it a hyperbola is that it's a negative. One of these two has to be negative in order to get that negative there in the middle. So when you're looking at an equation in standard form, the way you know a hyperbola is your x squared and y squared don't have the same coefficient, and one of them is negative. So that's important for later on. Okay, let's do one more example. So we have the equation 25y squared minus 16x squared plus 100y plus 96x equals 444. So again, first thing is, we know this is a hyperbola because these two aren't the same, and this one is negative. So that's what tells us it's a hyperbola. So since this one is negative, we want that one to end up being the back part of our equation. So when we go to put these in order, we're gonna put the y's first. So we're gonna do 25y squared, bring that guy over with him, plus 100y, and then minus 16x squared plus 96x equals 444. Before we can complete the square, we have to factor those coefficients out of the front. So pull the 25 out of here, and you get y squared plus 4y, and we leave a blank. We're going to pull a negative 16 out of here. That way we have that negative sign in the middle that we need. So that's going to leave us x squared minus 6x. 96 divided by negative 16 is a negative 6. Leave that space so we can complete the square. All right, find our number that goes in the blank. So half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. But again, there's that 25 on the outside. So what we've actually added to this side is 25 times 4, which is 100. And this one, half of 6 squared is 9. 9 times 16, I'm cheating over here on the side. 4, 5, 144. So what I've actually added to this side isn't 9, it's 9 times negative 16. So that's a negative 144. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do my factoring here. Y plus 2 squared. X, ooh, that was dumb. X minus 3 squared. Go ahead and combine these guys together here. 444 plus 100 is 544. Minus 144 is 400. Again, a hyperbola equation has to equal 1, which this one doesn't, so we need to divide by 400. So over here, 400 divided by 400 is 1, that's good. Here, 25 over 400, well obviously we know that reduces. How many times? Well, how many quarters are in $4? 16. So 25 over 400 reduces to 1 over 16. So this would be y plus 2 squared over 16. And now we can kind of cheat here, because if 25 over 400 is 16, then 16 over 400 has to be 25. They go together. Oops, too many equal signs. Move that guy over. Equals 1. And we're finished.